Right now. It's go time. Should I be concerned about my security? This hasn't actually ever been filmed before.
Money is the root of all evil.
We're heading to meet the owner of a drug operation.
Do you have a phone?
I do.
I'd like to have it.
What's happening?
National Geographic's new series, Trafficked. It explores the dangerous inner workings of the global underworld and black markets. Each episode follows the chain of trafficked goods from the point of view of the smugglers, law enforcement, and those caught in the crossfire.
And joining us now is the show's host, award-winning journalist Mariana Van Zeller. Good morning, Mariana.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. So tonight's episode is about cocaine. I was curious because I think some people sometimes have the impression that cocaine is, the market is not necessarily what it was maybe 20 years ago or 30 years ago, but you found that it's very much thriving.
It is indeed. There's more cocaine arriving in the last few years than ever. And what we did with this episode is we followed the routes that a kilo of cocaine takes from where the production is being made in Peru, where over 60% of the world's cocaine comes from, all the way here to the United States. And it was a wild ride.
I mean, just looking at this footage, it looks terrifying. How do you contact some of these drug lords and smugglers safely and not, I'm sure you're worried about your own safety many times.
You know, I've been covering black markets for over 15 years, almost my whole career as a journalist. So I have contacts and sources all around the world, which is very helpful. We also contact local journalists that are willing to share their contacts and their sources and their stories with us. So they are sort of, the unsung heroes many times of our industry. But a lot of times, I mean, there's so many security procedures that go into place and planning that goes into place before we even hit the road. So there's a lot that you don't see, but ultimately, these are important stories to tell. And I'm a strong believer in sort of boots on the ground, old school journalism. And black markets are incredibly important. They have a huge impact on our daily lives, even when we're not aware. They make up almost half of the global economy, these informal gray and black markets. So that's what this show is about. It's trying to shine a light into these markets.
When you did contact some of these smugglers and people doing this really illicit and illegal activities, did you find they were willing to tell their stories pretty openly, or were they hesitant?
I would say that for every yes we get dozens, if not hundreds of no's. But I think there's a combination of factors why people eventually, or some people eventually agree to speak to us. I think it's ego definitely plays a role. These are some of the best at what they do. And they sometimes not even their families know they do it. So we give them an opportunity to talk to an internationally recognized name like National Geographic. Secondly, I think it's impunity. There's a lot of impunity in some of these places that we've been filming around the world. They've been able to operate with almost complete impunity for so long that, again, they don't see a downside in speaking. And lastly, I would say that a lot of these people, they know, much like all of us, they want to be understood. And in many of the cases, I think we found that what leads them into a life of an outlaw or crime is a lack of opportunity and, inequality and a lack of being able to enter the legal market and find a job in the legal market. So we give them the opportunity to speak to us and explain that.
Mariana, when you look at the way drugs are smuggled into the United States and the current U.S. drug policy, are there certain things that you found that are working, or is it just, in terms of from the smuggler's perspective, these are things that are easily, they can circumvent?
I'll tell you what's not working, Lauren, and that's what's happening right now, which is the current war on drugs. The billions of dollars that have been spent on trying to stop the drugs from coming across is not working. We are living one of the worst drug epidemics in America's history. As you know, with opiates, cocaine is as popular, if not more popular than ever. And so whatever is what's happening right now, what we're doing right now is not working for sure.
So you mentioned cocaine, but there are other topics that the show is covering as well. What are those?
Yes, fentanyl, guns, tigers, wildlife trafficking, and a bunch of steroids and a bunch of other black markets.
It's just fascinating.
So is each episode a different item that's being smuggled, and you follow the route from that item all the way to the finish line, so to speak?
each episode is a different exploration of a different item. And sometimes it's a chain of custody, sometimes it's a journey that that item makes. But all in all, we gain unprecedented access into these worlds, into these black markets.
Really sounds like a fascinating show. Trafficked airs Wednesday at 8 o'clock on National Geographic. You can get more details at nationalgeographic.com. And you can follow Mariana on Instagram and Twitter. There's her information. Mariana, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, guys.